Hello, conspiracy players. Long time no chat. A little catch up here before we get into the episode. Jeremiah is now officially a father and kicking ass at everything, as usual. I'll be joining him in the Father Club here in the next 2.5 months. Super excited about that. There will be a break in recording, but I'm doing my best to build up some content for the can, and also have a plethora of guest appearances that will be slow dripped as bonus episodes. So stay tuned for all that. Also, Jeremiah has made some stickers. And for those of you who are only listening, you can find these. We're going to put the link to order these sweet ass motherfuckers in the show notes. I think they turned out really nice. They're made out of vinyl, really fancy shit. It's not gonna peel away with the wear and tear like the little thin papered stickers that you often see. We're selling 33 of them to start, so get them while supplies last. It's a good way to help spread the word around your local area. You know, find a place that might get a lot of traffic from potential players, plazas, shopping centers, recreation parks or centers, traffic signs, wherever you think they might shine. Or you can slap one on the back of your car or on your phone or water bottle. The possibilities are endless. Get creative with it. This is a bit of a test run to see how we might do in the merch world. Jeremiah, as always, is thinking big. T-shirts, beer coasters, bumper stickers, whatever. We're trying to think of ideas. So if you want to help support the show and spread the word, this is a great way to do just that. And now that the business shit is taken care of, I'm super stoked to have finally embraced the opportunity to talk one-on-one with Andy Rouse. For those of you who haven't heard his podcast, I highly recommend you check out the Deep Share podcast. He also has a few other projects he has or is working on. This conversation isn't exactly topic-oriented. While we love our deep dives or interviews where we unpack certain topics with a knowledgeable guest, sometimes you just got to do the free flow thing, especially when you get someone like Andy on. This guy and I immediately hit it off when we first started corresponding. And while we are very alike in many ways, we also have our own unique perspectives, and it was a lot of fun just bouncing shit off one another. I hope you enjoy it as much as we did. And until next time, we love you and have as much fun as you can, laughing in the face of the absurd.
This is not my beautiful house, and you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me out. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the blood is gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. Same as it ever was, same as it ever was, same as it ever was, same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
We've been saying as conspiracy theorists, like, look how obvious it is. Look how obvious it is. And it's like, maybe look at it from the other angle. Like, it's supposed to be obvious because we're all supposed to wake up from it and tear it apart. But what will that do? It'll destroy the West. If we go up against the only thing that's being put in place and all these duped morons, all these CEOs and business owners, everybody just giving up everything to this new regime, this quote unquote new regime that's coming in, it's going to save humanity. I think a big portion of it's meant to fall apart on purpose. I think AI, with where they're allowing it to go and where they're taking it, is fucking destructive and terrifying and exactly what the bad guys want to happen. But I think there's applications for technology that we have that are amazing. And I think that we again throw the baby out with the bathwater. A lot of times we all want to go back to being Amish or something, you know. And there's a good appeal to that, but I think again we got to find a little mixture of both in some way. I don't know. I'm proud to say I don't have any sacred cows, and yeah, I'm willing to kill my darlings. You know, I don't care if Bach Saga turns out to be full of shit. By all means, let's suss it out. But thus far, it's connecting to too many other things.
Dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make fun of you.
Oh, not at all, not at all, man.
I said you came in your pants. I just assumed.
Oh, I absolutely did.
Okay.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Look where my hand was. Time isn't holding up. Time isn't after us. Same as it ever was. 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 Here a twister comes. Here comes the twister. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Cool. Well, it's good to finally sit down and chat with you, my friend.
Likewise, I mean, we did, for the listeners who may have not seen or actually just listened to the UFO roundtable, that is the one time. I mean, we have shot
Brush
messages
shoulders.
back and forth on Twitter, and we certainly have a lot of mutual acquaintances and
Mutual interests, I'd say.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if I'm kind of hesitant to talk about psychedelics until the end, because I know once we breach that fucking topip, there's no going back. It's just gonna.
It's usually
turn into
how
that.
it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like that. We even made that UFO roundtable more of a psychedelic roundtable.
It's inevitable.
It is.
As we see those two, the two subcultures kind of being herded together by all the sheepdogs, you know.
Yeah, did you ever talk to that Nathan dude again after that?
Nathan.
He was the
Who's-
he was the MUFON guy from Canada that was in that roundtable.
Oh fuck! No, I didn't.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Nick for his
Oh, he was
information.
cool though. Yeah, I remember Nathan now. Yeah, he was a
Yeah.
sweetheart too.
Yeah,
he
he
was
was
a really
just-
nice guy. He was very open-minded because like we were harsh as fuck about the UFO community. You know, I feel like it's appropriate when you feel like you're a part of it or were a part of it, because I felt very close to that community for a long time. Not the Twitter aspect or you know, just like me personally, I was obsessed with aliens and everything, you know? So it's like, I can shit on it now. I'm one of you or something.
I
You know?
feel the same way about a lot of topics. Like, I can admit that I was fucking balls deep into the Laurel Canyon fucking bullshit, not knowing what it was. I mean, that was my favorite music growing up, and now I'm just like, holy fuck. But yeah,
That's an interesting one, man. That's really, really deep shit too. And the thing is like, I think there's more to it there than even just McGowan's perspective. You know, I think it's like, there's, you know, two sides to every coin. And I think there's value there regardless. We always throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know what I mean? Like, I was a big Tool fan as a younger person.
still am.
And I believe you were too. That was something that we,
Still-
and it's
still
not that I
am.
don't
I'm-
listen to him anymore, but
It's
just
hard.
I just listen to more metal anyway, but you know, I see all the connections that people point out, and I see Danny Carey and what they're doing, but like, I do think there's got to be some sort of value that we took from it at some point, but
Oh, it
That could
shaped
just
my
be that.
life. Like
yeah. For a long
mushrooms
period,
and Tool and
Right,
like
yeah.
fucking some certain books all in the same year. It was my formation year, and it was just like,
Right.
Tool
I bet
is
our
the
bookshelves
soundtrack.
look very similar.
I'm not doubting that one bit. Hey, I do got
Probably a lot of
question.
McKenna.
For sure. McKenna used to be my probably most read author. But what do you think about Alex Gray? Because I was just wondering about him the other day, and I haven't really thought about him since I've gone into like the psyop stuff and seeing that he's got a daughter that he was putting in Disney movies when she was like fucking 5 or 6 years old. Now I'm just like, holy shit.
I did not know about that.
Yeah.
So that's the unfortunate part where like You start looking around, and it's like biblical, right? It's like everything's a part of it. It's all like, this is Satan's world. Then this is the evil world that we're all like just slaves to. That whole mentality, because it's all bad. I don't know. I see that. I see a lot of that, but then, yeah, again, there's like a lot of value on the other side of it. Like the idea of magic is all bad 100% is silly to me, because I feel like we've just taken for granted here in this watered down version of reality that we call our perception as humans. We've missed the point for a long time that every moment is magic, every action, every thought, every word. And that would lead us into the psychedelics. We won't do it yet. But I mean, that's for sure the inspiration behind that kind of thinking, right? It's like that perspective is more expanded, and you can kind of see that like everything is magic, everything, every step of the way. And it's so, yeah, it's a conundrum here, and we have evil twisted up with good, and yeah, man, duality.
Well, wasn't it McKenna who said that culture is not your friend, or culture is your enemy, or one of those things?
He sure did.
I mean,
but
was he? What's he calling out there? Like,
yeah, and how wide of a scope is the listener going to perceive that statement with?
Yeah.
Is he going to include the speaker?
I think that a lot of these guys just know that a few really good listeners are actually going to hear everything, and most people are just going to be in awe of most of the shit you say, especially when you can talk like him. Like, I used to fall asleep to Alan Watts.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I have never really looked into him since, getting into all
Connected
this
to all
stuff.
the same kind of people, man.
He is. I mean,
Yeah,
just on the
all the same
surface,
group.
I've looked at him, and it's like fucking. We did.
I can't name you names off the top of my head, but I'll tell you, like, if you name 5 suspicious names from that time period, I guarantee you that that's probably one of them. It's you look at Gordon Wasson, which, I mean, dumb us, right? We're young, we're into that kind of stuff and thinking about it already, and he's not necessarily like a hero, but maybe the guy that brought mushrooms to the West, right?
Through Time
And
magazine.
we should have already been suspicious that he was a fucking higher up at a bank, like a massive bank.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so we missed that because we were too focused on being excited that more exposure to this weird experience we personally had. More people are going to talk about it. Thank God. That's what we were focused on. It's just weird. It's so weird because I still can't figure that out. Like, why this waking up process is controlled by a lot of the same people that were against and waking up to realize about. It's a weird world. I don't understand it completely.
Well, I got to tell you, man, when I was in my early 20s, I went to film school in Arizona, and then I had my psychedelic revolution, and I decided to load up my fucking Jeep, get 2 guys to help me. I lined up all these interviews. I went across the country talking to college professors, authors, journalists, doctors. And at the end of the first little fucking gathering of info, I ditched it. I just fucking threw it all out, and I haven't looked back, because the shit those guys would say when they knew the camera wasn't rolling, I knew what I was doing. I was like, okay, I'm putting out this prepackaged thing that all these guys are a part of. But I just wanted people to know about psychedelics and Western medicine and old shamanistic ways of doing psychedelics. I only did about a third of the interviews that I wanted to. And I knew this movie needed to be made. And then like 10 years later, there was like fucking 100 different versions of it. And it was all propaganda. And I almost did that movie. And
So you're talking about like a psychedelic driven movie?
Psychedelic documentary, yeah. And it was just...
Yeah, I was writing books, like I was, but I wasn't, but I was trying to,
Yeah.
And now, my God, if I had published one of my thoughts, it would have been, now it would be popular because it's just everywhere now. And it's weird seeing the same, seeing it from our perspective now, right? Seeing other people come to those like first positive, exciting revelations and stuff and go, oh fuck, I couldn't talk to him right now and talk him off this topic if his life depended on it. He's so invested. Like, they're all so just like we were. And Yeah, that's a hard one because it's kind of like everybody complains about trying to talk to their family or their friends, and they're all normies and they won't listen to me. They think I'm crazy. It's the same thing here, but we're already in the quote unquote awake group. So that's the really tricky one because no one wants to admit if they're getting something wrong.
So where are we going to be in 20 years from now?
I don't know.
We're going to be talking to dudes that are just like us now going, you guys are fucking retarded. Pull your head out of your ass.
Yeah.
I hope,
Is it just a
I would
cycle?
like to.
Because, man, I come to things now as a podcaster, as a researcher, that like fucking dudes have been talking about for 5-10 years on their shows. And a lot of us just, it's not the bells and whistles. And so we're not directed there yet. Like it's way deeper in, it seems. It really does seem like a depth thing, not a spectrum of like, what are you interested in? It's like, no, it feels more like when you're coming to terms with the, that we don't know anything and we can't trust anybody, that whole feeling. It does feel like a depth thing, like a step one, step two, like almost like a subconscious initiation. Like, what do you think of that?
For sure. I definitely agree with that. And I want to know how many layers there are to it because
It's an onion.
I see what's really big right now. And I just started noticing within the last month or two is that most people with conspiracy podcasts are burning out right now. It's like they had this fucking overload in 2020. And most people probably started their podcast. Most of the people I'm talking about somewhere in 2020, 2021, maybe 2022. Yeah. And they feel like everybody's covering the shit that they're covering. And so it's no longer cool. And it's like you can't bring anything fresh to it. But I was listening to Chud and Lanny talk about it the other day on one of their most recent episodes. And it was just like, I feel the same way. But I also, like you're talking about this subconscious initiation. Like I feel like right now, because everybody's laying down, you can fucking do something that will get people to like think differently. Because
sure.
And when I first started this, I had no fucking idea how many podcasts there were that were like just like what I was trying to do. And
oh yeah, it's like there's so many, even like years in that I just discovered a guy the other day who's had like a YouTube channel and a podcast for like 5, 6, 7 years. And I had never heard his name before, but he's into all the stuff that I'm coming to now after, I mean, I've been looking into alternative shit for like 20 years. So to find like kin spirits, you know, that are like older than me or been doing it longer, looking into the details of different things, gone past these like whoa moments and gone into it further, it's inspiring. You know, I think it's an onion, man. It's as far as you want to go. There, you know, I don't know, because that's the thing. It depends on the topic, I guess. But I don't know. You know, my buddy Shane Newsom from I Knew Some, but I Didn't Know It All. He's awesome. He's also on my Patreon show with me. We do a fun clip show. But he and I talk about this often, and we come inevitably to what we call the red button, and we like press it. And it's like we both had the experience on psychedelics. Inevitably, we're talking about this, where it was like basically coming to that universal one, that Walter Russell shit, man, and where consciousness just is, and like I is I, and there are no individuals and all that. And yeah, it's pretty wild. I don't even remember where I was going with that. Sorry,
well, you were talking about Shane and you having this similar experience. I don't know.
Right. That. Whatever I was doing before that, and that's what I was trying to connect it to. But it's okay. We'll come back.
You have a clip show. There's a red button.
Well, that's I was trying to connect the red button to what we were talking about.
Okay,
before.
so even
it's all right.
Well, you know, that was the thing. I remember my first DMT experience. I know I can't ever get back there because every time I sit down, when I do these days, it's fucking like it's been years. But that first one, I just went balls to the wall, and then I can't now. I sit down to do it. I'm not going to hesitate. And then I just inevitably, I know that I saw it and I remember it and I talk about it. And over 20 years later, and it almost seems cliche now.
Of course.
Because it kind of is. And but it's not. Of course,
It
you and
always
I
was.
right, but we didn't know that
No,
until we saw it.
Yeah.
And like I love talking to people because they used to annoy the fuck out of me, but like, yeah, man, you can get there without the drugs, and it's just like now that's what I'm more interested in. And I don't know if there's any kind of meditation that's going to give me the fucking DMT through the rocket experience. Maybe, but how many years does that take to get there?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I've never come close to that. I've never come close to a psychedelic experience. I mean, I've come like, you get those like, people would call them flashbacks maybe, but it's like intentional almost. Like you kind of go into it a little bit, but that doesn't happen anymore. I don't know.
Have you done isolation tank ever?
No, I've never done an isolation
I
tank.
wonder about that.
I've definitely taken mushrooms in a closet.
That's close enough. There you go. I mean, I want to know, like, because I can almost imagine just the feeling of not being able to feel anything and then just pure quiet and letting your mind wander. I think I could probably get somewhere close to psychedelic, but
Yeah, I would say so. There's also that I can't remember the name of it, but it's those, it looks like you're in a soundproof room, but it's like really intense, like the floor, everything. It's like the most soundproof. They build like headphones and shit in these rooms. But they're so quiet, they're so dead that people will go in there and turn the lights off and just eventually go into this state where they can hear all kinds of crazy things and feel things that they're not used to. It's the craziest thing when you completely are in this dead space and that no drugs. This one guy comes out of it saying like, how high up, how far below ground are we? I heard trains going by above me. Like what, like are there railroad systems or subway systems? And they explained to him that was his blood moving through his body. And it's like, he was explaining all these crazy sounds that your body makes, and you suddenly start to hear it all because you tune it all out with just everyday sound, even the voices in your head and the sounds and the constant gibber, all of it just kind of blurs out the natural form. So it's pretty crazy.
I've never heard of that.
I gotta find the name.
If you think
of that
of what
shit.
it's called, let me know. But that sounds crazy.
Yeah, and I don't think they're easy to. It's not like the tanks. Those are everywhere if you live in the right place.
Yeah, I got one right down the street. It's just
That's
like
cool.
I mean, Southern Oregon. There was a guy who was building these in the early 2000s before they really took off. Joe Rogan, of course, like fucking.
Yes.
Now there's a goddamn isolation tank studio and fucking jiu-jitsu on every corner in most cities on west of the Rockies, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to talk about, one of the reasons I did kind of stray from that documentary was once I started really looking into LSD and its history, I was just like, fuck. Then, of course, MK Ultra becomes the thing, but you were the only person I saw pointing out Harley Pasternak when Jim Caviezel was making his round with the fucking pedophile movie.
It's just a coincidence, man.
I mean,
Jim got
everything's
out
a
of
coincidence.
Hollywood. Jim got out of Hollywood, bro.
He just went into Mormon Hollywood, but I don't really.
Listen, Trump gave him a private screening. Everything's gonna be fine.
Oh, that makes me feel better.
Hold the line.
I don't. So I was just looking at Harley's list of clients. I mean, he's got them posted on his fucking website, like a badge of honor.
Past and present, yeah.
And there's a lot of people that you would assume, just the list of deplorables. You got Will Ferrell, Lady Gaga, fucking Ariana Grande.
Yeah, some shady characters.
All the ones that we think are fucking, beta sex kittens or whatever the fuck. They're all on there. And then there's some like seemingly normal ones, if there is such a thing as a normal celebrity. But when I heard his background about being in the Department of Defense in Canada, and have you seen that interview clip where he's talking about how he had free reign to experiment with drugs, and he brings up what's it called, modafinil?
I think so.
It's a thing that's not a stimulant, but for some reason it'll keep you awake. And I remember back in the day, I used to dabble with Tim Ferriss. You ever listen to him? He's
Sounds
like
familiar.
what the fuck is the name of his podcast? He's in San Fran. I mean, he's one of the OGs of podcasting, but he was into brain hacking. And so he was doing all these drugs and he raved about that one.
No shit.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear? I'll have to find this Tim Ferriss guy because the name sounds really familiar from back in the day. So maybe. Have you ever heard of that shit from back in the day where, I mean, I see it. It's all over YouTube now. I think it's all fraudulent now. But back in the day, it was like we were downloading it on torrents and everything. That was like sound waves. It wasn't binaural beats, but I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it was binaural beats. Now I sound stupid. See, it wasn't everywhere back like it is now. You know, it was like this new thing. Yeah, that is what I'm talking about. I'm fucking silly.
Binaural
But
beats.
yeah, it was. It was like the binaural beat show that the Gateway Experience was allegedly about. But that's the thing. That's interesting too. That like, you know, when we found out about Gateway Experience, we were not the first wave of people to freak out about those documents. You know, they'd been out since I graduated high school and was just getting drunk all the time and didn't think about it. You know, like those were released publicly back in 2003, and none of us were talking about it back then. You know what I mean?
What is it exactly?
The Gateway Experience?
Yeah.
It's a series of binaural beats and patterns that were put together by Robert Monroe, who was a guy, I think he was a psychiatrist or a psychologist of some kind, who he was having these like episodes most of his life of like slipping out of reality or into his subconscious. He was basically like naturally tripping in a way. And him and a psychology friend of his were just studying these things supposedly and came up with the idea of binaural beats with the two hemispheres working together.
They thought of that?
Supposedly, but I mean,
I thought it was older than that, but I never really.
It's way older.
Okay.
I absolutely would say it's way. I think it has a lot to do with like cymatics and ancient stuff. So yeah, it's all there probably. But this is the story we're handed from these pioneers of the mind that also were, you know, the layman story is, oh, well, the CIA was just checking him out and checking out the Monroe Institute just to see if there was anything to it. And after 32 pages of total psychotic, new age, everything perfect aligned with Gnostic everything, suddenly they basically report like, oh, there was no findings. You know, 32 pages of like full text report of this experience. So they had their CIA members doing this process at the Monroe Institute and going through the whole thing. And yeah, that's the thing. They're not lying about the results. Clearly we know that these things happen to the brain, but how they're using it against us is like, I think it's just like, it's a lotus flower. It's just ever unfolding, it seems, because mind control seems to be the tip of the iceberg in some way.
Well, I mean, I think it was the guy we were talking about before, Nathan, the MUFON, the Canadian MUFON guy. He was talking about these patents for the shit they were doing with TV in the 50s. And
yeah,
I recall a friend of mine, he's from way back, his uncle was NFL. He played like 3 professional sports, and he was also in the CIA and the NSA. And this guy was like fucking highly operational in the fucking late 60s and early 70s. So like the heyday of all this shit. Yeah. And whenever he asked him anything, he would just tell him, yeah, just stay away from the TV. You have no idea what they're doing with that, and you don't want any part of it. He didn't have a TV in his house. He didn't let his kids watch TV. And like now, this is like back in the 90s that he was telling them this.
Yeah, man.
So
that's yeah, man. The cycles of conspiracy theorists. I mean, it's just no. I mean, I guess you can look at it that way, or the fact that we're just always here. But you know, it's the same stories. It's the same revelations, just regurgitated over and over. And that's what I worry about. It's like we're clearly dealing with people who may not be this powerful, but have successfully given the illusion of enough power that we just run in circles and never really break through anything. And I wonder if that's because we keep finding out more and more that more and more of our quote unquote heroes of the counterculture were put there on purpose. Not to say that our intentions are like, you know, not our own, but yeah, that's where the enigma is, man. That's why I think it's a much deeper thing than like money or, you know, redistributions of wealth. I mean, that's a part of it. Those are tools. You know, everything that people use as like the ultimate goal for these bad guys seems to just be a tool or an opportunity in a much larger picture that we will never understand.
At some point, money is not anything anymore.
Especially these people.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing to. I mean, power might be something they're still trying to get more of, but at a certain point, you can only have so much fucking money and buy so much shit.
The same about power.
But is that why they start like doing weird fucking sacrifices and shit? Because they're like, you know, I'm bored.
No, because that's been going on forever, man. All these blood rituals in some form or another. You know, it's like the oldest human fucking characteristic, unfortunately.
So, something you said just a few minutes ago reminded me of a question I like asking people, especially people who like to read a lot of these older stories. But what do you think of the notion that's like Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle or Cloud Atlas, you know, where groups of souls kind of go through different lives, just taking turns playing different roles? Or are we always kind of just stuck because...
I think the problem with answering that is that reality is a Russian doll. And I think that probably, like, everything is thought. And I think on some consciousness level, and this is bad wording, but maybe there's some sort of, not a hierarchy like better or worse, or, you know, but that grander or lesser, you know, I guess it's just like a higher scale of the fractal. So that reality could exist, while both what you said, you know, the former and the latter, like it's just different levels of where the eye is, you know, where the focus is.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know, like that's the only place that reality exists.
Yeah, I mean, do you ever it used to happen to me when I was younger, but it's been happening a little bit lately. I have a kid on the way. I don't have any kids.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, I picked a hell of a time to become a father, you know.
I think it's the best time.
I agree, dude. I actually, during COVID, I was the loneliest I've ever been. Everybody around me was just fucking falling into place. And I said, you know, a family would be nice.
Right.
And I could raise somebody to not fucking like do all of this. And then I like reunited with a girl from my past who we don't see eye to eye on anything, but we have this other kind of connection that's hard to explain. And we are having a kid and we're not really together right now. It's like,
oh my,
we're trying to kind of work through it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't being facetious, even though I do sound like it when I say like, yeah, I picked a hell of a time, because 20 years ago, I was dead set against it. I was like actually mad at people who were choosing to do it. Like, what the fuck is your problem? You know, like the green agenda shit kind of like hijacked my mentality. And I was like,
absolutely. We were young. Yeah. You and I have, this is what we mainly connect on. Yeah. We kind of grew up in that same mentality. You know, which is good because we have a good perspective on things. We understand. They're not like people that think that way aren't our enemies. They're literally being duped. I kind of describe it like that they think the good guys won.
Oh yeah. I heard you talking about this with Dusty.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Because that's a really important perspective to remember who we're dealing with. You know, I mean, I know there's extremism, but yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to break in there.
No. I agree. Like, if the good guys won, but now what? Now you guys just sit here and fucking you're the oppressor now, and you're fine with that. Like,
not really. Like they still think there's something to stifle, right?
Let's indict him 90 fucking times and like pretend that we're like doing something here.
Remember how pissed we were at like, I'm going to take a stab in the dark, George W. Bush and every Republican when we were younger. Like, I don't know, maybe not for you, but for me, I wasn't affiliated politically, but my problem was the president's mentality seemed to trickle down, and whatever that was everywhere. And when you think about 9/11 and all the shady shit that they were involved with during that administration, and all the patriots that just loved the shit out of them, and it was just like, man. And look at all of us conspiracy theorists. What kind of group are we closer to now? You know, and it's like, it's just, it's a mind fuck, man. So you think about like how duped people were on both sides, man. It's just crazy. You know, I used to argue with my father about like energy and like solar and all that renewable energy.
Did you use the C word?
Climate change? Yeah, I probably did. And he was the one, interestingly enough, buying me books saying that climate change was full of shit, right? Now, fast forward 2023. Keep in mind, Bush was in charge back then. And even though my father votes Democrat for the most part, for most of his life, that doesn't matter. This is what I'm talking about. The president's mentality like sends laser beams into the brains of all the young boomer patriots that grew up in this loving this country and loving everything about this country. Like, I don't know, there's this, do you get what I'm saying here? Like,
totally.
So back
You're describing
then,
my father as well.
He hated George W. Bush. He didn't like him at all, but he was on the side of George W. Bush towards the younger generation about all this kind of shit, all this rebellious shit that we wanted more alternative energy. Yeah, we wanted all these hippie things, and George W. Bush and this repressive fucking old, very Christian, blah, blah, blah. Like all of this was the evil empire. And I don't know, it's just very interesting. Fast forward to 2023, I bring up that book that he bought me, and he's like, well, since then, there's been a lot of good information that's come out, and it seems that climate change is like, you know, a real serious issue. Just look, you can look at any of the experts saying it, blah, blah, blah. So it's, you see, it doesn't matter what he really feels. It's what is he supposed to feel? What, as a soldier in the American dream, you know, I'm not trying to shit on my father, but I'm talking about probably millions of people, you know, who have switched in that boomer generation, you know, from one to the other, just because it's the status quo to feel one way or the other. Back then, alternative energy couldn't compete for shit. So fuck yeah, you're going to be able to talk shit about it, and there's no use for it. Nothing. Like, you're going to be able to make fun of all those hippies complaining about it. Now, the status quo is all the alternative energy and all the, you know, it's flipped, but those same people don't realize that they're not even fucking thinking for themselves at all. They've completely switched, and we're talking like a 30-year con, 40-year con. Like, it's unreal. Sorry, I'm just rambling.
No, this is Ramble Hour. And yeah, my fucking dad's the same way. He's a registered Democrat. Kind of was intrigued by Trump at first, then he totally did the thing where everybody did. But his always
character of the man.
You know, that's what I actually like about him.
Oh,
I don't like anything he did, but I think he's fucking.
He's funny.
He's mesmerizing. Like, the guy is. He's a golden fucking beacon on that screen. Like, he's such an old trope, but he wears it so well. Like,
yeah.
I can't think of anybody like him. Like, and I mean, he pisses me off. Leader. See, my mom's never been political, but she loves Trump.
Interesting.
It happened during COVID, and
wow.
And it's weird too, because I'm always like, well, Operation Warp Speed. Yeah, well, you know, I don't know. I just I just liked watching his little briefings every day.
As a comic, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do about. I mean, I don't trust any of them. You know, anyone that walks through these doors, anyone that's constantly being shown to us, they're off the table.
Well, I've been duped. Yeah, I've been duped.
We all have. Though.
I mean, Tulsi Gabbard was the last one to get me, and you just got to fucking go to her Wikipedia page to see she's CFR, and as soon as you start looking at her past, it's just like, yeah, she's just another role. I still want to believe Ron Paul meant it, but he probably didn't.
I mean, they give us our heroes, That's for sure. But yeah, I got banned. I got blocked on Twitter by a bunch of fucking like libertarians from New Hampshire because Tulsi was going to Pork Fest and I was shitting all over it. I'm just like, oh, look at this.
That tells
Just
you
another right wing, covert right wing bullshit. Fucking.
And
Yeah.
the libertarians are that anymore. Like,
Yeah, dude.
I've never voted for a fucking politician in my life, but I did
Same.
register as a libertarian when I moved to Oregon. And,
Oh yeah.
well, I moved back. I was born here, but I've been around. I moved back, and like, I was on a date, and some fucking college kid's like, I just need 2 more. And of course, he says that to everybody. I just need 2 more signatures. But it was like 11 o'clock at night. I was like, what the fuck are you doing out here? I was like, all right,
Yeah.
put me. Is there anarchist? He's like, no, it's not a party. I was like, okay, well, let's go libertarian then. I mean, we like to say on this show that a fucking libertarian is just an anarchist with their dick tucked between their legs. And
Yeah, it makes sense.
it's not. It's like, to me, maybe the LP when it first was formed. And I mean, I have not like Rothbart and all those guys. I've never really done a dive into it. I just
Yeah.
think it's unrealistic.
I
But
don't know enough about it.
it's
You know? I just see what I see. I see who and what they say and who they yell about, and then who they still hold on to and suck the teat of. And it's like, what the fuck? It's just, again, not necessarily two-faced, but just ignorant, not stepping outside of themselves. You know, there's a lot of religion in libertarianism, so it does feel like Republican light. You know, in a way. And
I think so.
unfortunately for me, I'm sorry to any listeners, like it just, yeah, no, the religion is a total control operation, and it's weird to see so much of it in the conspiracy world. Like,
I was going to bring that up earlier when you're talking about like we're getting into the like brushing shoulders with the conservatives, and I was going to say, and
Yeah.
a lot of Christians, and
absolutely.
they're often a big overlap there, but. Some of the coolest fucking people.
Catholicism, man. Christianity's like way better. It's like different. It's the same fucking thing. You know, who gave it to you? The Catholics. You know,
Yeah, they own it now. I mean,
always have.
I don't think.
And he's a sun god. He's a sun. Come on, people. Maybe I'm causing the stir here. I don't know. We'll find out. But
Well, if you are, then it needed to happen. Cause
I mean, it's nothing people haven't said before, but it's weird to see so much of it in conspiracy world. It's like, aren't we supposed to be questioning authority? What, just not including the longest running one? Okay, cool.
yeah, that's a point my mom and I always talk about, because every time she's a huge fan of anything I do, so she loves both shows. But she'll like listen to stuff and then call me and be like, "It's amazing how many people you talk to are really hardcore Christians." And I'm like, yeah, I've kind of just been getting used to it lately. And
Yeah, a lot of good people too. I say this at the risk of pissing people off that I truly, really appreciate and like. I apologize, but they know.
well, we
think this
both
way.
talked to
They
Jack
can't honestly
Allen.
Anyway, fuck
Like,
yeah, Jack
Allen
was
is a
one of the best
guy who will
people
sit
ever.
here and hear what we're saying and not
And
get mad
he's-
at us.
And I don't care, like, if I disagree with my like spiritual consciousness beliefs with him. It doesn't matter. His belief structure has made him a really wonderful person
Fuck yeah.
and a strong person. So shout out to Jack. He's awesome.
Talk about like a 6-year turnaround in that guy's life too, and he's quite open about it. But like, just a skinny fucking weakling junkie that fucking was like got bitch slapped and fucking changed his life fast.
Yeah,
5 or
storybook,
6
man.
years is fast.
Storybook.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. He did it. Like, he actually did what you're supposed to do. He's like a Joe Rogan guest story. But I don't want him to go, Jack, don't go on Joe Rogan.
Hey,
As
you know,
intrinsic as that
dude,
would
he
be.
went on tinfoil hat and fucking killed
Fuck yeah,
it
man.
with that fake nuke stuff. I was blown away by that episode. He
You know
wasn't
how many people are
nervous.
talking about that now? Like, where that topic is, like, it's everywhere.
I wanted to have
It's
him on
because
to talk
Oppenheimer
about it.
came out too. You
Oh,
know, it was
that-
perfect timing.
What do you think
Like-
of that? Like, why
I didn't
now?
see it. I haven't seen that.
I haven't
Barbie.
seen it. But
I haven't seen
just
Barbieheimer,
The
you
timing,
know?
yeah, we didn't do the Tom Cruise. Go, you know, you take it in Friday afternoon. You watch Barbie, or no, I think he said Oppenheimer, and then you lighten it up. But the timing of that, because Christopher Nolan to me is like this era's Kubrick, and I think he's kind of fashioned himself that way.
I think,
I've-
yeah. And he's not the original, but he's very similar. Yeah.
I mean, you
movies are
watch
very
Interstellar, it's fucking 2001 Space Odyssey. The end of it. And I mean, I love him too. Memento is one of my fucking top 10 movies of all time. And he's gone a long way from that movie. But I just
It was
want to
his
know.
first.
Yeah.
His first.
Well, he
fucking
had a black
movie.
and white one that was called The Following, and it's not
Yes.
technically a film, but Memento.
No, it's not.
It was like,
But
I think it might have
Memento's
been film
killer.
school. He worked on his
Man.
brother. Yeah, Memento. It's a genius script and it's flawless. You can't say that about most movies. There's no holes in it at all. I've looked.
You know what's really cool is I saw that when I was younger when it came out, and I
Mhm.
loved it as just like a movie buff. Fucking loved everything, and then I saw it like after psychedelics, and it freaked me the fuck out because you know how his story is like this big loop that a big part of him doesn't know, but a part of him does.
The part that does the
And-
thinking has no idea what's going on.
Right. And there's
Yeah.
a part of him that just goes back to sleep after, I'm just going to make this happen again.
Well-
And I had this creepy, cosmic, quote unquote, past life kind of shit in that sense. But it was more like like a collective consciousness thing. Like we're all doing it. Like we're all accidentally doing it all over again, like or something. It was so wild, man.
I don't think I've ever thought of it on that level, but you're totally fucking right.
Uh-oh.
No, yeah, like I've got to watch
Roller
it again now. I got the fucking DVD back there.
And I don't know, that's the thing, I find a lot of psychedelic messages in Hollywood movies are unintentional, and I think that's just synchronicity, and that's what you pick up on when you're tripping anyway, is that synchronicity is not just some funny thing to believe or not. It's like the fabric of reality. Like you're in a painting or you're a puzzle or some sort of mathematical equation that is absolutely perfect. So synchronicity looks like magic from our perspective, or a meaningful coincidence, and from that side it's just 2 + 2 is 4. You know, it's fucking creepy.
Well, it's like you said in the beginning of this conversation, that is magic. Like
Yeah, everything.
all of it. I mean,
All of
to harken back to our love for Tool, I really wish I had not ever listened to Maynard go on Joe Rogan, because
I know.
it was so cool when they were mysterious. And I always knew Maynard was a sarcastic dick, much like myself.
Yes.
But
Never gives up the ghost either.
he did say something that they were talking about the Fibonacci sequence in the song Lateralus. And
Yes.
I thought it was kind of a dickish answer at first. He's like, yeah, we thought we were being pretty cool by doing that, but everything is that. So we weren't really doing anything other than like copying what's always here. It wasn't
Yeah.
like some groundbreaking thing. I'm like, fuck you, that song gave me an out-of-body experience one time.
I have a conspiracy theory about Maynard.
I want to hear it because I think...
Tell me if this tracks.
All right.
And if he heard this, he would just roll his eyes and probably not say a word.
Or he'd come kill both of us.
Or that. He's like Nosferatu. But he does that every single interview in the history of Tool interviews when it comes to the obvious intention behind his lyrics and talking about the meaning behind the songs and what we've all connected to so passionately and personally. Because my God, if you've tripped hard enough and Rosetta Stone doesn't feel like a mirror image of your life and raise every hair on your body, you just haven't tripped hard enough. But so like all these very passionate lyrics, these meaningful things about reality and consciousness, it's not that they're psyops, they're legit. They happen to you. And every time he's asked about it, he makes you feel like you're a fucking idiot for
he
thinking about it.
shits on it.
So, and I don't remember, I know there's a number of people who have like given this like more of like an occult name or phrase to describe this behavior or tactic, but it really is like this building up to drop it off and pull the rug out from under you. And that is something that is used on us, or at least used to be. Now it's a fucking freak show. Like, I think the tactics have slightly become more like exoteric, but that was a familiar mentality, you know, just pull the rug out from under us after a build up over and over again.
Well, that describes Tool's music. It builds and builds and
Right?
builds, and then it's just like, and you just think it's gonna go. And no, it's just a little. Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no, that's perfect.
so that's a tactic that I used to wonder, like, is he just really bad at accepting a compliment, or does he really like want us to feel fucking retarded for liking the shit that he makes? Because I mean, I went and watched fucking I got his This came out.
A perfect union of contrary things. So did he write this? Oh, so
This-
he had like a ghostwriter with him or something? Or
So
helper?
somebody else wrote it, but
Oh, okay.
what I like about so she went to high school with him, and she
Oh,
became an
cool.
author. He sought her out,
Oh,
but
nice. All right.
he is the footnotes. He writes the footnotes, so it's really cool to get. But I had always heard shit about his childhood that I was absolutely just not in that book. Like
What? What did you hear?
well, I don't know if I had heard this or I assumed it because of prison sex, but I swore that he was molested.
Sexually abused? No,
Yeah, and
I
it was
think-
a family friend in the church, but it's somebody else he knew that he wrote that song about. And it's just a song about that happening. But
I think there's way more to that song though. And so this is something that John Carpenter does about his movies. He's like, oh yeah, They Live was about Reagan. It's like, fuck you, it was about Reagan. That era. Like, yeah, sure, it took place in that, and that was a convenient setup, but fuck you, it doesn't have a deeper meaning, John.
and the Matrix is about being trans, finding out you're trans.
Absolutely. But so fuck, here I go again. Tool. Yeah,
They
so,
live. Tool.
yeah, so in that same sense, that's kind of what he does. Like, he just kind of like rips the guts out of it. But his past, yeah, I know he had like a father that wasn't there or something like that.
His mom was
Or his dad was a
so
workaholic or
well.
something.
His mom was just so fucking over the top, like religious.
right?
Yeah,
he
like
loved her.
like snake handling type shit. But she stroked out when he was a little kid.
Yeah, 10,000 days later, she died.
Yeah, but he had to sit there and watch her church keep milking her for everything. She didn't have anything, and everything she had, she gave to the church.
Oh, I
He
didn't know
got
that.
sick of it, decided his dad was absent, but his dad could not stand that lifestyle and watching his mom just get sucked into it. So he moved in with him, and the song, it's on, what's the album with Anima? So it's the song, I think it's called Jimmy. Is that the song?
11.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
11. So
yes.
that's the song
Dude, that's
about
the most
when he
beautiful
goes
fucking
and
song.
moves in with his dad. And
when he's talking about his he's talking about like finding his inner child basically as an adult and going back to that place, I think.
No, yeah.
That's how I
Ohio,
was always-
under a dead Ohio sky. And that's,
Yeah, 11
that's-
has been there and will be waiting.
yeah. And I've always had a thing with 11. So I didn't even care what that song was about. But after reading that book, and so anyway, yeah, we could make this a Maynard show, but basically he just,
People would hate us.
his hatred for religion is very understandable at
Right.
this point.
So that's an important thing. And it's like, we, from our perspective, look at everyone that's interested in the occult. Well, I don't say we, but like conspiracy minded people in general. There's a hard no about the occult, right? And it's like, you got to understand people that came from situations like Maynard did. And I know that he's a bad example because he's evil, but I grew up with Christianity very, very light. Like, we went to church a couple times, that kind of stuff. But I just grew up hating what religion did to the world in a lot of ways. And like, all of us that grew up that way and had a bad reflection from religion, it's like, we don't see the occult like the way, or I don't know. It's such a weird topic to kind of get into, but I do think there's a fine line, I really do. I know that this is hard to kind of get around, the fact that they all seem to be controlled, or they all seem to be a part of something. It's weird, but they have to like advertise the authentic thing. Otherwise, we at our core are not going to be truly intrigued by it,
For sure. And this leads me to think about something. I just was thinking about this the other day. Now, it's not an original thought. You may have had it too, but we have lived through something that most people who ever live on this planet are not ever going to see. And we have seen I think in our lifetime, we have seen Christianity lose its power, and there's a new religion now, and the people that are in it don't even think it's a religion, and that's how powerful it is. And it's the fucking woke bullshit. Like, it's so cliche to call it like it's a religion, but it literally is a religion. They make you defy science. They make you believe, like the trans movement. And it's so, like, I didn't think people who were talking about Tavistock always, about how they had always been planning this. And so you got the androgyny in the 70s, and They did do it really fast. I've seen people in my life flip because they were told to by mainstream, and it's just like we used to laugh about they thems at work, and now they have the fucking thing on the bathroom door unironically, and it's like, I'm not making fun of anybody who goes by they them, but it doesn't make sense to me, and it doesn't have to make sense to me for you to be who you are. So fuck off on that. Like, I don't give a fuck what you call yourself.
Right,
But
absolutely, yeah.
that's
I'm
religion.
Old school
Putting
liberal
your
on that topic.
exactly, yeah. So to
If you're
put
a fucking
your
adult, stay away from kids.
this is what religious people do. They aren't just okay believing what they believe, they want you to believe it too. And that's like why I think it's very dangerous, this new religion, because
See, this we disagree slightly on, because I think this is a red herring. I don't think it's a new religion.
Well,
I think
dude,
this is destruction of the West.
this
is Rome 2.0. And as Terrence used to say, right, Rome falls every 9 hours or something like that. But I mean, this feels like a controlled demolition, as Charlie Robinson put out in his book. It's every part of it is. This is to me, this seems like not what this new regime is going to be led by. These are the victims, to be honest, because these are people that were easily made to feel marginalized, and absolutely, one way or another, however you want to look at it, absolutely made fun of for a century, basically, probably longer. So it was easy to corral them, and it was easy to make them foot soldiers. That's the whole plan, right? Demoralize people making them victims and using them as shields.
Oh, I agree with that entirely. Yeah.
And I even disagree with like the WEF technocratic takeover in a way. Like I'm still paranoid about it, and I hate all those people.
You just think
I just think it's not necessarily like a red herring, but like it's almost meant to fall apart. Like we've been saying as conspiracy theorists, like, look how obvious it is. Look how obvious it is. And it's like, maybe look at it from the other angle. Like it's supposed to be obvious because we're all supposed to wake up from it and tear it apart. But what will that do? It'll destroy the West. If we go up against the only thing that's being put in place, and all these duped morons, all these CEOs and business owners, everybody just giving up everything to this new regime, this quote unquote new regime that's coming in, it's going to save humanity. I think a big portion of it's meant to fall apart on purpose. And I wonder now, like, maybe we are going into like a Mad Max kind of situation rather than a ultra, or maybe it'll be like Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know if you dabble in video games, but I think that's one of the most predictive programmings we have.
No, tell me the plot of it. I have not heard of it.
Well, when you play this game, it's like, cyberpunk, futuristic, techno everything. Everybody's implanted, but there's the total outcast society. And it's like Mad Max out there in the world. And you can play as one of those guys that was raised in the outskirts, in the Badlands, But, you get like 10-year-old tech and shit like that. It's, whatever comes out of the black market out to the deserts and stuff like that. But there's these very centralized places of like, just this one city, this future city that basically is the control structure that I guess we could compare to the WEF, the takeover, all that. It's all centralized in this one little place. But that's not what's going on across the world. Basically, everything outside of that is completely destroyed. And it is Mad Max,
I see that
horrible.
Definitely being where we're going to. Like,
yeah,
maybe a bunch of those cities that are connected all together. But I think
perhaps maybe
people that choose to stay outside of it, they're not going to have to round us up. We're going to I think with like the real anarchy that I claim to want happens, like, I just, there's a couple of my favorite people. I know you personally know them, but Chud and Lanny, I'm going to bring them up again because they had an episode where they were and Chud kind of surprised me because, you feel like you get to know people.
Yeah.
But he's like, I don't believe in the doom and gloom apocalypse. I don't think people are going to band up and start like cannibalizing and killing each other. Yeah, you're going to see that, but it's not going to be like what's out there. People are going to like come together.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'd like to think that, but I think it's going to be a little bit of everything. And,
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and
it'll be both.
I'm not going to go to the city, but you might think about it at certain points, like if this actually comes to pass.
Yeah, this puts like zombie movies into perspective, right?
Uh-huh.
Like you go to the cities and that's like the worst place to go. You got to go there for like resources and shit or something like that. At least in the beginning, right? All these movies, all these TV shows, especially like The Walking Dead, right? They got to get to the hospital. You go like seasons deep, they're growing their own medicines and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just that mentality of yeah, we've come together in small groups or something. It's weird. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but yeah, I don't think it's necessarily doom and gloom. But I don't know. It's unsure.
Are
very
we
uncertain.
gonna just recreate the video games and the shows and the comics that we read? Like, well, this is what we do. You get to be Negan, and I'm gonna be fucking Mel Gibson over here. And
That would be so pathetic, but it would absolutely happen. You know,
Look how we act,
We're
though.
a parody of ourselves. Yeah, yeah, it's rough.
it's
But
hard
yeah,
to
I don't
be.
think it's going to be doom and gloom necessarily. I don't know.
Well, there's always.
Because that's the
doom
thing.
and
I don't
gloom
think
in
AI.
everything.
Well, I should take that back. I think AI, with where they're allowing it to go and where they're taking it, is fucking destructive and terrifying, and exactly what the bad guys want to happen. But I think there's applications for technology that we have that are amazing, and I think that we again throw the baby out with the bathwater. A lot of times, we all want to go back to being Amish or something, you know. And there's a good appeal to that, but I think again we got to find a little mixture of both in some way. I don't know.
I
I could be
agree.
way off. It could be a total demon takeover with AI and all that. I don't know.
Well, I think they could fake that.
Yeah.
They're whatever they always try. I mean, fuck, everything's the fault of COVID. Everything's the fault of climate change. I think they're setting it up that AI can be the next bad guy, even though clearly AI is it's almost like psychedelics. It's a tool.
It's a tool, right?
And
But it's a tool that will be able to have more access than psychedelics do to our technology, and the more we rely on it, that's the thing. Yeah, use it as a tool, because as soon as it's not a tool anymore and it's a part of you, that's where my line is drawn, I think. But then again, see, I'm questioning myself now. Like, what's
Good.
you? What's a part of you? Is your pocket where your phone is? Is that you? You know?
yeah, it's just one step from sliding it into your brain. You know, I mean,
Right? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's a hard thing to. There's no clear answers.
you can
know?
go throw your phone out into a lake.
Absolutely.
You wake up tomorrow and do that. You're not going to do that with Neuralink.
That's true.
It's going to have repercussions beyond, oh, I just owe US Cellular $125 now. But I don't know, man. I don't know exactly, because the Neuralink technology they have as wearables, I mean, all of this stuff is already accessible to us. Why the fuck do we need it in here? And it's
There's
almost
all the
like an
extra
allegory.
Cool stuff. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
like an allegory. You're right.
I mean,
It's a Hollywood movie too. You know, it's what we've been programmed to kind of want, like in some
Yeah.
way. Not all of us, but the sci-fi world out
I was going
there.
to say,
man.
are you a Cronenberg guy? Like
Oh, I love
body horror, and like he's kind of was ahead of his time now. If you think like Existenz.
Still ahead of his time. Existence is still ahead of its time.
Yeah. And
Existence
I
is
haven't watched his
Matrix.
last couple because
No, I don't think I have either. I watched it. He had something to do with that movie, The Box.
Oh,
with,
he did?
Yeah, the guy that played Skeletor. I can't remember his name right now. He's dead now. He was awesome.
The Box. That's not the one with
Yeah, it was about like the guy
Donnie
shows up at
Dark.
their doorstep.
Donnie Darko.
Shows up at the doorstep with a box, and he's like, "You can press this button, and you'll get like $10 million. But somewhere out there in the world, someone will die."
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was either a Cronenberg movie or he
Well,
wrote it or something.
Richard Kelly, who did Donnie Darko, was the guy that did that movie. But
Oh, he did? Okay, so then Cronenberg absolutely had some other
Yeah,
hand in it.
I
swear
wouldn't
to
be
God.
surprised at
Or
all.
I'm crazy. I don't know.
Oh, his son's, or is it his son that's making movies now?
Yeah, his son is making. I can't name one, but
It was like it looks Infinity Pool, I think is what it was called. I saw it
Yes.
advertised the other day, and it looks like a fucking trip.
It was.
Oh, you
But
watched it?
It didn't remind me of a Cronenberg movie. It reminded me of a culty horror movie which is like they're everywhere now. You know, it's just as conspiracies are like getting further and further everywhere. They're spreading to more and more of the culture. Yeah, it's happening there too. It's like all these like elite or satanic cults killing people and doing horrendous shit behind closed doors. And yeah.
Do you think that's a red herring? Like, you always see Chrissy Teigen fucking going around on morning shows talking about eating people and stuff, and it's like,
yeah, it's
how
easy to
over
say
the fucking
bold.
top is this? Like,
It's easy to say like, well, she could totally be just like they say it right in front of us and we just don't pay attention. Like, I bought that for a long time, and the reason why is because it's pretty feasible. They do, like, things are hidden in plain sight, and they do laugh in our faces and say, you know, I don't know though. It might be a red herring.
I think it's both.
It's so hard to, yeah, absolutely, because there's human trafficking fucking everywhere. And like, people abuse people all the time, hurt people everywhere. Like, and the children thing where you get into like the life force and the I won't say the word, but you know, the thing that oh fuck, I'm trying to think of it now. Paranoid American. Thomas has a word for it that like it was called, that like was like the substitute word for it, and I can't remember that.
I
one
heard
either.
him talking to Cheney on her show about it.
Oh,
Those are the
yeah?
most informative fucking episodes, because I have no idea how far back that shit went. Like, it's not new. That's not a new theory. It's not a new story. But
But yeah, that's a very that's like hardcore shit. And like on a spiritual level or consciousness studies kind of perspective, it's like, yeah, I can see that. I can see children being like way more like closer to source, literally. Like I say that shit all the time. Like that, you know, just as, you know, I think we were closer to our source and understood it probably more when we were babies and just couldn't put it into words or language or logic. I think the human species as well, like I think we were probably closer to the mark way back in the day. That's just a wild theory, you know, but the closer you are to the source, the more powerful your intentions are or something like that.
you're less tainted by culture.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's like, I can see that purity they talk about that the bad guys are after. Like, I just think, I hate to say it, but like a lot of people suggest it's like a metaphor. And I do agree with that on some level, that they're doing that everywhere all the time. It's like to say, do you think MK Ultra is still going on? It's like, well, look up Monarch. Monarch is just showing you that it's an umbrella that's always happening, really, you know, because you can't even prove Monarch technically.
It's not one of the declassified ones, and it's one of the ones we all like to talk about the most because we can see it. You can see him doing it.
It's just happening everywhere. So I think it's more overt, or less literal, maybe, you know. But then again, you mix that with like real human trafficking and the money involved, and then you get like politicians and all these private industry people that are rich as fuck, and we know how that goes. So there's just so many weird threads to pull, and it's hard to even question it in this community that it's not exactly as it appears.
No,
it's all Baphomet, where they're literally giving it to a goat. I swear to God. You know, like you can't. It's very hard to argue with people about that, or even offer an alternative.
I want to ask you something about that, because we were talking about Harley Pasternak and Jim Caviezel and The Sound of Freedom. I saw on Twitter some dude that you'd had on your show before called you a pedophile because you said that movie's bullshit or whatever. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you were like calling it out for what it is.
Posted it like everywhere just for people to take a look at. I was nothing but nice to him in response and tried to like make him see logic. I won't even say his name here, but people can go find that. But yeah, it was on one of my Sound of Freedom posts, so it's only a couple of them. You can find it. But yeah, it's a guy.
Hey, he's the one who put himself in the public eye. You know,
a conspiracy theorist, content creator, researcher, pretty smart guy, kind of like savant-like in some ways, like numbers and things that he researches Seems like a pretty intelligent guy on some level. But I noticed after I had like had him on the show a couple times, talking to him about very weird out there sci-fi ideas that he had, and his Instagram is just filled with fucking typical right-wing stupid own the libs, man. And it's almost like he's like controlled op or something. But that was another thing he called me. I was controlled opposition and a pedophile all wrapped into one. It's amazing. And hey, I won't do the typical thing and go, what, me in this basement studio? Well, like, yeah, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Mid, high, low, they get whoever they want to influence people. They do start on our level. Yeah. Absolutely. As you and I know very well, we've talked to, you know, a number of key people who, you know, have been unfortunately compromised or, you know, exposed in some way or another. And it's like, I don't know.
What is funny about that to me, that whole thing?
What, the Canadian dork thing?
Yeah, is I never was compelled to believe anything that guy said. But at the same time, I'm being very unfair because I knew the punchline. But I remember hearing him on the biggest conspiracy podcast, you know the one. I heard him on that way back, and I remember now going, who the fuck is this dipshit that tries to talk like he's Carl Sagan or Agent Smith? Like, that voice, I don't buy it. So everything you're saying now, I know that you're acting, and I don't know physics from my fucking asshole.
Yeah,
like,
does he?
Exactly, but he could fool me. I just didn't buy his delivery. So everything he said, I just assumed it was bullshit. And it's unfortunate, too, because I do know a lot of people who still think, you know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It is. But
dude, God bless Drew. That fucking episode.
Dude, yeah. it was funny because like we're in a little small group chat. Her and him and I and a couple others, select unnamed people that have been on that side of things for about like 6 months to a year, putting this stuff together, learning about everything, seeing the photographs and the audio recordings of all kinds of suspicious shit, and like I think he was the best one to interview her. Because like I said to you before, whether it was on the air or before we got on the air, Drew from You're Missing the Point podcast is one of the best interviewers out there, man. And he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's shadow banned as fuck because he's Australian, but he did such a killer job at that with that interview, and he asked the right questions. And you know, it was like a little poof, and then it's not talked about anymore, you know. And I've kind of put it to rest a little bit. And it is kind of sad seeing seeing people that had direct contact with me, even bigger shows than me, talk like being like, is it really true? Like, well, this and this. Do you want to see this? Oh wow, well, doesn't surprise me much. Then like 2 months later, welcome on the show, and it's like grift.
You know, what are you gonna do? I know,
or they don't believe us, you know. And hey, if that's the case, so be it.
Yeah, I just think that it probably goes on way more than we know. We just got we got a view on something, and I actually did my best to stay out of it. I don't know how much you know, but
I don't know entirely, but we'll probably get into it off air. I will say that like I'm kind of, you know, I backed off. I might be just paranoid, but dude, within 1 week, I had like 6 different solar energy salesmen come to my door. It was very bizarre. And like I said, I could just be paranoid, but it was weird, man.
I would be cautious if I was you too. Yeah. I mean, I that's crazy.
I wasn't polite to any of them. So
should have been like,
I hate it. It's like, if you're stupid enough to not look into what this is, like getting on the grid with everybody. Like, because if you look into most of those contracts, they just own your whole roof now. It's fucking ridiculous, and it's a scam.
And
They're
you're
all-
responsible for repairs, and they don't.
Oh, yeah,
fucking
yeah, it's
last.
nuts. But yeah, it was just too uncanny getting like six or seven of them at my door at different times of the day. Couple of them were the same day within like 20 minutes.
Yes.
And it was like, what the fuck is this?
I do want to tell my listeners that if you don't know what we're talking about and you want to know, do go listen to Drew interview Brandy Renee. I don't remember what episode number it is, and your mind will be blown. And I think that moving on to another topic, we could talk about
Sure.
this shit out there, like you said. But
It's a good caveat, or not a bridge into the UFO topic, if we can.
well, I would like to talk about that because I like to make fun of it on my other show with Dusty.
Nice.
Because he's like crazy, dude. I mean, I love Dusty, and I think that he and I are both crazy. But he's one of those guys that believes that politicians are literally aliens, and like
Reptilians.
we gotta-
I've talked to him. I didn't know that.
well, no, I don't know if it's an act because Dusty has many characters, and he might even be one
He's
himself.
great.
But no, dude, he's like, I've got that guy and I record at 4 hours a night every week, and we're like each other's therapist.
Yeah, man, it becomes that way sometimes.
It
It's
does.
good.
And it's like when I don't disinfo bait, I go a week without it. I'm like, something's missing. Yeah, because
Right.
we match each other's level of fucked upness and just keep raising the bar. And sometimes we'll get in the middle of a conversation. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to make the episode, but
Well, we might have to cut her out.
it usually does.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's like, okay,
Fuck
that
it, let
word.
it fly.
yeah,
Like Bill Burr said, right? Fuck it, say it, see what happens.
that's a great bumper sticker right there.
It really is.
So
Fucking say
you
it.
are huge into this UFO Twitter stuff, and it's in fact, when I had Brandy on my show the first time, your show is one of the shows I listened to like get a feel for her.
Cool.
And it was like, you guys used to do this thing. I don't remember what it's called, but it was all about
Kill the narrative.
Yeah,
and we're
that's it.
planning on doing more of them. I'm just a lazy son of a bitch. And I
No,
have a
you're
lot.
you're not lazy. You're
tired.
busy.
Yeah, I'm just tired, man.
I do want to ask
But,
you
yeah,
about that movie show after we get off here. I'm just curious.
Sure.
Like, are you still doing it? Because
I'm not really, but
Okay.
like I've been given like a lifetime pass to like come on as like
Well,
a forever. But like I
you're
just don't have
co-founder.
time for it, man. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. Let's just shout out to those awesome humans. Again, it's Drew. Again, and it's also Moral Bob, and it's Ryan Dean from Dangerous World. Now.
yeah, did he just kind of
Taking
step
my
in?
place, dude.
Okay, I
This
was
is
gonna.
fucking
That's what I was gonna
perfect.
ask. So it's
Fucking
all
awesome.
amicable and everything. Then that's good.
Absolutely. Oh
That's
yeah,
good
yeah,
to
yeah.
know.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I was just like never. I just didn't because the three of us together coordinating from Massachusetts to Texas to friggin' Australia, and no offense to Drew, it's like of course that's the bigger time difference that really kind of fucks things up. And my weekends, I don't have the time most of the time. You know, every great once in a while I can do something, but to try to do something like that and know that I was not going to be able to do it consistently was just beating me up inside. And finally, Bob and I talked. He's like, I think we're just going to, fill in with somebody else, man, if that's cool. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, dude.
Well, good for you for not getting butthurt and like, because
No, not at all. No,
but some
those
people,
guys
some people would be like,
need
well,
to
it's
do that
my
show.
or no, but yeah, and tell
They need to do that
tell
show.
my listeners what that is because it's a really good fucking idea.
Yeah, Conspiracy Theater 3000, and this was another part of how like difficult it was. At least the format we were going with was we would release a commentary on one of our movies that we were talking about, which was like an hour and a half podcast. But then we'd also release like a watch along, a listen along, kind of like Riff Tracks used to do or still does, where you time it with us and you line it up at the right time and you hit play and you watch the movie and listen to us bullshit the whole time. It sounds silly, but it was really fucking fun. And I really hope that those guys together can, the schedule works out and they can pump out episodes, man, because I know they're going to kill it. They already did Idiocracy, and that's a killer one. And there's a lot in the tank. I know just the ideas that we were spitting out. There's so many movies to just go over with a fine tooth comb.
Well, I was excited about Highlander, and then I saw that Ryan did it. I was like, oh, I'll listen to that later. I thought it was going to be Andy. But...
Oh, well, no offense to Ryan. Yeah, I mean,
no,
I
I love Ryan. Like he's a buddy.
Yeah, but I was obsessed with Irish and Celtic.
That's why I was
history
excited to
and all
see
that
you
kind of
cover
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't find too much in Highlander. You know, that's what I find what happens in Hollywood. You'll watch like a rom-com and you'll get like ancient history fucking nods and stuff like that. And you'll watch an ancient history movie and you'll get like political scams getting like thrown in messages and stuff like that. It's never direct. You're never going to watch like The Mummy with Brendan Fraser and like get hints about Gnosticism or Hermetics, you know? You're going to get like some allusion to something like Ron Paul did, or you know what I mean? It's never direct. And that's what I ended up finding with Highlander. I didn't find a lot of like what I wanted to find. All this old ancient stuff that they were just hiding in plain sight. No, I didn't really find
It was
that.
about Ronald Reagan, like They Live was supposed to be.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And dude, Drew, the way that like I've listened to some of his breaking down movies on other people's shows. Fuck, nothing gets by that
He's
guy.
good.
Even like
He's
to the
good, man.
name of the characters and the stuff that he digs up on that.
He just remembers so much of it. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
the guy did the thing. And then after that, you remember? It was weird.
Yeah, I remember all the dick jokes in every movie.
Oh, God, of course.
All right, so Aliens, Andy.
Aliens, man. Fucking aliens.
Yeah, like I said, we've just been making fun of it on our other show, and these hearings, this congressional hearing, and it's almost like a joke now at this point, even among your laymen. Like, I don't think
Oh,
anybody's buying it. Nobody's
There's a
acting
whole-
like they're
yeah,
going
I
to change
mean-
their lives over it anyway.
I'm trying to find the function behind it. If it's this much of a nothing burger every time.
I
you
have
know?
found one thing that I think is coming out of this, and it's a boring answer, and it's an answer to a lot
Money.
of things. Defense contracts.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
dude, they have opened this network to have a telescope on all these buildings in every major city so they can see the sky.
Right,
And
of
when I
course.
heard that and that came from these congressional hearings, I'm just like, God, I thought at least you guys, like, we're going to do something cool with this. It's just the same old
Like-
fucking story.
I thought you were gonna like enslave us or something.
Yeah. We're fucking,
Some
what's
money
that?
grab and that.
Greenland with the tunnels. I thought that might be brought up at least once. Biologics is all we got, and
The word anyway. The word biologics.
everybody
Get
trips
any
over it.
sketches? We probably got sketches. I know that's the funny part. You know, the Hegelian dialectic of the congressional hearings and Greer's big presentations with all of his cartoon drawings.
And
And I
tears.
will admit though, you know, truth in plain sight, speckled in here and there, maybe the 10%, 90% rule. That guy that was talking about the shit under the ice in Antarctica, he wasn't talking about aliens or anything like that. He was talking about like energy weapons and stuff like that. And that I can buy, but then again, that could be this is cognitive dissonance, man. Like it could be just more psyops. I don't know. It's so weird. And depending on who you look at and who you listen to, it's just so there's so many different perspectives on it. It's so weird.
So you with your interest in ancient history,
Yeah.
and you hear shit like that, are you one to believe that we did have highly advanced civilizations on this planet before recorded history? I guess recorded history is a joke now,
Right, it is.
but I didn't
History.
know that until I saw COVID happen. I literally thought that it was more reliable than like whatever people decided to put down. If they could like change history right in front of our eyes, is what I'm kind of getting at.
Yeah, how could they not do it? 100
And you
years?
know they do. I mean, there's so many instances of it.
And they probably never did it like, yeah, there's like revisions probably, but for the most part they just do it right in front of every generation. And eventually, who knows, right? No one remembers what was made up, because you can't even go to your elders and ask anymore.
No.
Those plugged in, there's no memory of the logic behind any of these emotions and feelings that they're attached to with this, you know?
So do you think that there was?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big toss up because the word technology, advanced, it's so
Well, that, yeah, to us,
know.
advanced technology could be.
computers and AI and
Yeah,
laser
but
beam. stuff.
What
but-
like free energy and shit like that.
Well, that's the problem. We have big names like Zachariah Sitchin and Eric Von Daniken and a billion of copycats around those characters that were both read in and put in our faces. They're connected into interesting groups when they were alive. Or I think Vonnegut's still alive. Von Daniken's still alive. But we're talking Chariots of the Gods and the what is it? I can't remember what they call his series, but he's the
Sitchins?
Nibiru Anunnaki guy, you know, the 12th planet, all that. And it's a shit translation. He gets a lot of shit right, but there's another guy, I can't remember the name of the book right now. I'm pissed that I can't remember it, but he looks at the Anunnaki aliens. He takes it all as aliens, but he looks at it like government factions all over the earth and stuff like that. And like those concepts are valid to keep on the table, but you know, you can throw out the alien shit because where Sitchin got it was his own translations. And he was a very prominent linguist and translator, but at the same time, he got it wrong. He definitely got it wrong because it's been proven wrong many, many times since then that Anunnaki does not mean from heaven to earth, or those from heaven to earth came even. It means of princely blood, of On and Ki. Interestingly enough, you know,
I
and
only
who
know that
is-
because I listened to the Deep Share podcast.
Oh, cool. Well, don't take it from me, please. Go
But
look it up.
I have
Research
and
old
I-
anthropology.
the only reason I looked it up is because of you, because you're
Good.
not like one of many. You are one of a few people saying all this kind of stuff, and there needs to be more because we
Hey,
did talk
yeah.
about like certain belief systems that have made it into the and goddamn if Nephilim and Anunnaki isn't just the thing that
Absolutely.
I roll my eyes about 5 times a week just because I'm scrolling through my podcast feed. And like I said, mythology behind Christianity, I'm game. There's probably shit going on that made it into those books. I don't know. I'm not.
Oh yeah, it's all Lawrence Gardner, who I'm doing a series on his stuff, and he had a lot of cool quotes about, you know, how they basically what I've been trying to say, and he just says it way better. It's like they twisted history and spirituality up together into this wonderful little lie. So I think when people throw out the Bible, we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater again. The holy, we're throwing it out with the holy water, you know. And so everything's valid. It's all intentional. It's all there. It's just it's all an enigma to figure out. And I don't have the answers. I don't think anybody does. But I know some of us like to think we do, and I think that feeling keeps us going and keeps us looking deeper into whatever's keeping our interest. But yeah, for me, I'm proud to say I don't have any sacred cows, and I'm willing to kill my darlings. You know, I don't care if Box Saga turns out to be full of shit. By all means, let's suss it out. But thus far, it's connecting to too many other things. I don't know. I think I've trailed away from your original.
No.
like,
I mean,
question.
that was kind of the intent, but when I think of old technology, like I can't wrap my mind around it because it wouldn't be the same as what we've got.
Not at all.
And
I think we talk about that. Sorry, let me. This will answer that.
okay,
The Tartaria energy station stuff that feels very flimsy to me, and I think because at least like I'm basing this off root language from Box Saga, fine, but from that perspective, at least all these words that we think we understand mean something tend to mean something else, and I think that's kind of the case in that situation where, like, what do we look at? Like, for example, the Box Saga has a very different view of Atlantis than everybody else does. The core of the story does stay the same of Atlantis because it is destroyed. It is a memory when we were all together, blah, blah, blah. Like, it has a lot of these hallmarks in the Box Saga, but the story is wildly different. alt lant east, all land ice. It's a time period, not a single place. The concentric ring structures had to do with caste systems all over the planet at one time. Like, it's a completely different tale than Plato's narrative. I don't care how many people think they're being rebels when they're searching for Atlantis by looking through fucking the Timaeus and the other one. That's the mainstream narrative. That's the end of the Atlantis story, the tail end of a very, very long story. So these technology in the past, it's such a vastly different concept than what we have and what we think of today. And the Matrix has done that to us, right? We can't think of what's really going on with consciousness because we're so obsessed with this computer simulation model, where that's just probably the best example of what consciousness is doing, not what's going on.
Yeah, we did breach on that on the UFO roundtable thing, if I remember right. But
yeah, I think so.
I always go back to, like, to me, it is a simulation, and consciousness is what's doing it, and that's the story. But to understand it and break it down of how, who gives a fuck? Like, I know it's happening because I'm experiencing it right now, and like, yeah. But I do want to say, before we move on to anything else, and you might not be done with it, but if anybody is curious about an in-depth analysis of the Box saga that Andy has done, go watch Jack Allen, Conspiracy or Just a Coincidence, the one where you were a guest on there. I think it's a pretty good entry into
that was a fun one.
And you kind of explain a lot of the things you just touched on briefly here, but it blew my mind because I've heard people just talk about it and then move on to another topic. But
yeah, something about dicks. Moving on.
But isn't it like underground, like shit? Like people, yeah.
Well, that's the origin of mankind. It's they describe the entire process of like the toroidal fields and the centrifugal energies forming the planet, and that. I can't remember the exact explanation, but some sort of like gases cooling or something at the top, the top of the planet, and making this large indentation, and that being eventually phonetically called Holy Land, and that's where supposedly we were in the beginning. It's a wild story for sure. But yeah, listen to the Jack Allen one because I've been talking about it for about a year and a half, but it's all been like practice. Like, I'm finally starting to get a grip on how to tell people about this insanely complex story. It's hard to just bring up, and even starting at the beginning, it's difficult. So yeah.
Well, it's so cool because, like, I can't call myself a flat earther because I'm not gonna throw my hat on that in that ring. It's just as stupid as the global theory to me. But
don't plant your flag. Yeah.
When I start to wonder about, like, well, then what is that I'm looking at night when I see the stars? Because I know NASA's fucking just not telling me the truth on that. But that doesn't mean that because I know what that's not, I have no fucking idea what it is. So other theories that just kind of talk about just a whole different level of understanding or theorizing on what's going on and how we got here. I just think there's probably like the Box saga might be one of like so many that have gotten lost through the ages. And I mean, just Native American legend alone that, was passed down orally.
Oh man, I've been having great conversations with a man who's done some extensive research into the connections between Box saga and a lot of the First Nations tribes here. And you got to wonder, like, why do they have lodges, right?
Is this your show?
No, not yet. Not yet, but we'll probably have him on. Yeah, his name is Thor. Perfectly.
Sweet.
And yeah, he's got all the right descent and the lineage. Yeah, he's been looking into that, and it's something that I haven't looked into, but I've wanted to for a long time, because something that I've actually learned from like Bigfoot shows, because like Wes Germer on Sasquatch Chronicles interviews this guy named Tom Seawood a lot, who's on Vancouver Island. He runs this thing called Bigfoot Island Facebook page. You can get like tours and everything, but he's a legit dude. He's a Native American who his tribe has crazy stories about Bigfoot and everything, but that's not the point. What the point I'm trying to make is what I've learned from listening to Native American tales and legends and reading a lot of books about their legends, is that the reason why there's no difference between their spirituality and their history. You know how that's said a lot about, the other world and this world are the same, and our mythology and our history are the same. And that's always been something that's really beautiful how they say that. A lot of tribes say that. But what people miss is that it's exactly what the tree that I'm barking up with, the Bach Saga and all this undoing of mystical wording of things, like the word pixie actually going back to the royal pix, not little things that fly around. That's how it was all demonized and belittled, of course, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, this is the same thing,
Yeah, I want to get more into it.
Sure.
Because I do find that the old stories are, especially like I said, it's kind of gets stagnant here in the conspiracy realm. But when you start looking back at history through the shit that we learned as conspiracy theorists, you look at it through that lens, and it's just a whole fucking new ball game.
I personally think we hit a fear wall. I really do. And and I'm not trying to like beat up on it, but like if you're part of Western religion, man, then there's areas you will not learn about. Right. Or you have to write off as lies. And I know we all write off a lot of history as lies. I get that. But there's this discernment level we're digging into the details where I feel like that. I said it today on Twitter, like the fear of death squanders many paths to truth or something like that. Because when it really comes down to it, even people that don't call themselves Christians or Jews or whatever, there's no atheist in a foxhole, right?
Right.
I don't care. Kill that darling. Fucking no sacred cows. Let yourself die. You got to look at the darker areas. And I think assuming it's all satanic is the dumbest and most dangerous thing you can do if you take this whole community seriously and what we're supposed to be after. To hit that wall, and I'm not condoning any of these characters in pop culture or anything, none of that shit, but there's finer details and there's a lot more nuance and subtleties going on, That's my rant.
Well, no, it just reminded me the first time I ate mushrooms. So I grew up in southern Idaho where it's like 90% LDS. And
oh, wow.
So one of my best friends in high school.
So it's Masonic. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We got him smoking weed right after high school. And then my first time doing mushrooms was also his first time. And it was my brother's second time. And we just ate a chocolate from Portland, Oregon with 2 grams in it. Fuck me.
Oh man, that's wild, dude.
But he was having the time of his life, and I had ego death in the first hour of my trip. I got it right out the gate. And
that's so awesome.
Once I turned it around, I see him having a good time, and I went in and I said, "So is this a sin?"
Oh man.
And you know what he said? He said,
what did you say?
He said, "Yeah." I said, "So you think we're doing something wrong here?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, can you tell me why?" And he was pretty open-minded for a Mormon. And he goes, "Well, it just feels way too good to not be wrong." And I was like, this is what a Mormon's going to get out of the psychedelic journey is that was just too good to be fucking not wrong. I walked away going, God, we are fucking one consciousness and it's always been here and there's no such thing as time. And he's like, just felt too good. And can't have that.
Different perspectives, man. Yeah. I had friends like that would take psychedelics and just chill all night or all day. They're just those weird souls that could do it and operate under it. It was I could never do that. I was always more the alone sacrament sort of feeling towards psychedelics, and give me lots of pillows and comfy rooms to be near. And no stresses, turn the phone off kind of thing,
I just always walked away from the group. Like, we'd be out in the woods, and as soon as they were kicking, I'm like, this is not for them. And I want to be able to fucking rip my shirt off and do cartwheels if I feel the need, and I just can't have any outside perspective fucking with that right now. And I guess that's an insecurity on my part.
Right. Yeah. Well, I hear you. I mean, I I can.
But I'd always go back a couple hours later, and everybody's having a fun time. But just initially, it was just like, no, this is mine. And I can't be vulnerable in front of you fuckers.
Yeah, dude, you feel naked, very naked. I remember, yeah, so many things. But I remember doing salvia one time, and as soon as the it hit my head, I bolted out the door. I was in like a room with a bunch of people, and we had this bong that we had made called Bane.
You guys were just passing salvia around like weed?
Yeah, pretty much. But we were until I ran out of the room. But it was a big like Oscar Sesame the Street tin trash can filled with water with 2 3-liter bottles duct taped or glued together. So it was this massive conduit attached to like 6 hookah hoses with a big fat bowl on top to roast. And so it was a gravity hookah basically, and we were doing salvia out of it. And yeah, I ran out of the room. I went all the way to like the far reaches of my friend's property and was like losing it. And yeah, I was just, I couldn't be around anybody, couldn't do it. I had to like be alone with all of it, man. Yeah,
that's one I've never done. That one,
salvia is intense.
Salvia's the only one I kind of I passed on it like 3 or 4 times where I could have done it, and it was just like, I don't know why. I did my body, I just didn't want it. And I've seen people do it to where like it puts them in this weird loop and they freak the fuck out. And to them, when they come back, they're like, that was like 1,000 years. And that to me sounds a little similar to DMT, but also not, because your humanness is gone. Sounds like with salvia, you're fully with it, and the weird shit is happening to you. That's just you've done it, so you could tell me if I'm wrong. But
I've done a lot of different types of it too, which was weird.
Extracts, like 40x, and then leaves.
You could smoke the leaves, and it's not anywhere near as powerful, But they used to sell it at grocery stores, so
we still do here.
It was weird. We wouldn't smoke enough of it. Like, are you tripping? No. Are you? No, but my neck hurts. Like, what is that? I don't know. Neurological? But yeah, you do the extracts, man. It was a different world. I mean, I had many different experiences that felt like I was thrown into an immersive VR horror video game or something, like very unlike other psychedelics, in my opinion. The only one I could compare it to do would be like, yeah, I guess it's really not like DMT.
Well, but it's like, I think just the duration of it,
the intensity, or not even intensity. The uncontrollableness, I would say, because DMT, man, after the first hit, I feel very out of control.
Yeah, I don't like little doses of DMT. I like big doses, because little doses, yes, it's like, well, this is what mushrooms feels like at the peak of it, but it's just like going to stay here unless I smoke more.
It shouldn't be happening this fast. Like that's what salvia did to me the first time. It was like, it didn't feel correct, because I shouldn't be dropped into the middle of my trip like this. This is really weird. Like I was supposed to work for it over an hour of waiting and anxiety, and then slow weird stomach feelings, and then the walls start breathing. Like this, like salvia drops you just similar to DMT, I guess, in a way, drops you hard into it fast, But DMT to me felt almost identical to heavy mushrooms.
Oh, they're the same. I think they're
one molecule placement off.
Yeah, I have had, and they're both tryptamines.
Salvia,
I have had experiences with both DMT and mushrooms that were just like, that's the same state of mind. There's no doubt in my mind about it.
Yeah, the revelations that people are claiming, like Rogan claims that you can only get on fucking DMT. It's like, you gotta be in the elite DMT club, bro. I've had all that shit from light mushroom trip, or not light, but like regular mushroom trips. It's like, you're talking about gnosis, you jackass.
Well, the front of his forehead is this thick. So I don't know what that's affecting him there.
Fucking meathead.
That's what I used to like about him, and now
me too. Yeah,
it's like the old. Everybody says it. He just could talk with everybody, man.
He was the only one talking about like archery. I was like, this is fucking cool, man. Like my friends and I have shot bows and arrows our whole lives, like, and now it's cool.
No, dude, when he had Cam Haines on his show,
Yeah, he was a badass.
that motherfucker on Joe Rogan's podcast told people to go hunting where I was born and grew up, and they don't want people coming in there. And that
Oh my God.
I shouldn't say it, but it's Eastern
That's
Oregon,
hilarious.
like right under
Yeah.
Washington, right next to Idaho.
I know he
and
didn't live.
that's where he
yeah.
goes. And
I
he
lived
lives
in Central Oregon.
Yeah, you were in
and-
Redmond, right, or Bend?
Yeah, I was in Redmond, and
Yeah.
I worked in Bend,
Yeah.
and I would go climbing in the Sisters and that region, up in the Cascades, dude.
So I heard you talking about mountaineering on one of your most recent episodes. So
yeah.
you did that when you were over here too?
Yeah, I do.
What do you think? Is your shit more intense over there? Because I was kind of wondering.
In New England? No. Well, that's perspective because Mount Hood is a gigantic monster.
Yeah.
And you have to be a badass. I'm not calling myself a badass, but like you have to be willing to be extremely uncomfortable for long periods of time if you're going to climb mountains like that.
See, I like
Because there's no summertime.
mountaineering. It's like I don't know if I want to. It just
I
seems
do
like-
more backpacking these days because I got
Right.
a 6-year-old, and we're going together, and I don't get a lot of time with my buddies to get back to the bigger places. But over here in the East Coast, we don't have Mount Hoods because I think the prominence of Mount Hoods, and for people that don't know, the prominence is not the elevation. Elevation is above sea level. Prominence is how much are you climbing, how much from the ground to the top, and the prominence of Mount Hood is big. It's like 10,000 feet or 8,000 feet. You're climbing a shitload of feet. Over here, I think we're a little closer to the ocean. So, our highest peak is Mount Washington at 6,288 feet. And that's that's pretty much, we're only climbing about like 300 or 400 feet. Or no, I'm sorry, 3,000 or 4,000 feet, like 4,500, I think, on that mountain. So it's a little different, the prominence, but they're brutal because Mount Washington has the worst weather recorded in history.
Really?
And it's insane, man. There's a club, I think it's called the Century Club, where you have to go out on the summit because the summit is a tourist trap. It's a nightmare for climbers. Like we don't go anywhere near it usually, but it's all like tile outside with this big balcony to look over the views and everything. But in the wintertime, that's all ice. And so the guys that work there try to get into the Century Club where they have no crampons, no spikes, no gear. They can't hold on to anything. And they got to make it from one side of the observatory to the other without getting fucking knocked over. And there's only a few people in there because you get knocked over because the winds are insane. And it's just like shooting ice sideways. It's nuts. But I've gotten caught up there in that kind of weather and like forced to like throw up a bivouac and like tent out for the night and wake up with like a foot around me, and it's not fun at all. You don't feel badass.
Dude,
you feel very scared.
You should feel badass that you lived because a lot of people would die through that shit.
I don't know. I mean,
you put your average guy up on that mountain with like the right gear and everything. A lot of people just freak out. Like
they do. They make mistakes. People get scared and they make mistakes.
Yeah.
Like just a couple years before, or like one season before I got into mountain climbing originally back in my early 20s, my friend's dad, my friend being like a seasoned climber, ice climber and everything, his dad was like, listen, when you go up there, like, just know that like 2 months ago, this ranger was found on the other side of Mount Lafayette with his clothes off, dead, and he got lost in a blizzard. Yeah, man. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. If you get
a guy
caught
who's
in the wrong
spent
weather,
several
fucked.
hundred hours in the woods, I imagine too. Just like
Probably, yeah. So, and that scared us a little bit, Like, you guys got ice axes, you guys got this, you guys got that, you guys got crampons. It's like, yeah, we got all of it. And yeah, we went up and experienced like negative 13-degree weather that night. And man, it's brutal in New Hampshire. To answer your question, New Hampshire and Maine is fucking brutal mountain climbing. It's not as high and you don't have to stay up there as long, but yeah, it's pretty brutal out here.
that was the Bigfoot episode, right? Where you talked about that?
I might have, I think we did talk about that.
That
I
was
had,
cool because I kind of
Alexander Pedikov. Yeah.
we got to get into Bigfoot. I don't get to talk Bigfoot with a lot of people because it's kind of like
Neither do I. That's
It's
why I'm
the-
doing the series, man.
I was excited when I heard that. So
Nice.
it's just one of those things that people will make fun of you for believing, even though they believe in fucking like shadow people
Fairies and
and
shit.
yeah, I that's fine. Those things might be real somehow, but Bigfoot. I mean, just getting on an airplane and going from fucking Portland to Seattle, it's an hour flight. Maybe not even that. It's probably like half hour. But when you look down, and you're like, yeah, there's Bigfoot
He's
down
in
there. You would never fucking know. And
What's
then-
cool too is you go from Portland to Seattle. Well, I mean, you get maybe not Seattle, but Yucca, Washington, like all these places, they'll tell you he's there too. And there's signs telling it's an accepted thing up there. It's weird. Like Northern California, parts of Oregon, when I was there was very normal Bigfoot talk.
Oh yeah, we have a Bigfoot trap here outside the city I live in. It's one of the oldest, and the settlers put it up. It's a walk-in live trap. The fucking door falls shut. You can walk inside of it now. They got it all fucking sealed up. But
those are my favorite stories. The old stories. Of
yeah,
Bigfoot.
the old stories, or when you get the guy who doesn't tell very many people because he's ashamed. And like one of my friend's dads in my hometown was that guy, and you get 2 or 3 beers in him, and then he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know about Bigfoot, but I don't know what the fuck that was. And it wasn't a bear walking out." I mean, he just knows because this guy lives in the woods. And to hear him and to hear shame, that's where I'm sold. Like, unless you're just fucking with people because you're a dick, you're telling the truth.
One of the things I hear a lot from legit like hunters accounts is when they say something like, no one's rolling around out here in a fucking monkey suit and in the heat
where some
in
of those
Alabama.
sightings happen. Yeah, just be like, well, they might do that 2 miles off the freeway.
Like, look at Ron Moorhead.
Is that the Patterson?
Ron Moorhead's the guy that did the Sierra sounds.
Right.
Like,
Oh,
he
the
recorded
hunter.
the Sierra
That's
sounds.
about 3 hours south of me where that happened.
Dude.
And
yeah,
the
and
whoops and the branch knocking and that stuff.
You can stay tuned for a chat with him on the Deep Share in a couple months.
You
So
did?
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's who you were talking about on Twitter. I was like, who does he got?
Dude. Yeah, man. So the Sierra sounds, they were like fucking 12 miles into the wilderness.
In a spot where you don't go unless you're a badass.
Yeah,
These guys packed
because they're
mules in
backcountry.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're backcountry.
They
hunters.
didn't even pack
Ron
their
Moorhead
own
and-
gear.
Yeah, and they're
But-
not like drive in, sit in a tree stand. They're climbing up mountains and things like that. They were 12 miles into the wilderness in the middle of the night. This was like day 4, day 5, before they heard anything, before anything happened. So it's like, to fake that, to have some asshole out in the woods like doing that, pranking you, like that's ridiculous.
Unless
And
they did it, but I don't buy that.
they
either.
didn't. So
No,
that
no
was
way.
of course where my mind went when I first originally heard them. But then you get into the fact that Ron's talked to audio engineers and just many professionals all around speech,
and they're saying it's not.
they talked to
human.
this military linguist guy that was supposed to not only decode languages that he was familiar with, but he could decode languages that he wasn't familiar with. Like, it was nuts. Like, and even determine like what types of languages they were, and gibberish is technically a sign of human level language too. So when you say, oh, that's just gibberish or something, don't want to do that. So whether, I don't believe that's hoaxed at all. So that's probably one of the creepiest things.
Dude, I listened to that at late at night. The first time I heard of it, I got ripped and I turned out my lights and I listened to it and I'm like imagining me in the woods hearing that.
Yeah, and you hear Ron like try to mimic.
Yeah,
and, like,
they're talking
respond
to the
that.
fuckers. It's like, are you guys calling them in unintentionally? Because they do get closer. You can hear them crossing the creek at one point. And dude, they sound Asian. They sound like
that one
like a
part of it,
samurai.
yeah. I think
Like-
that's 2 different tapes. That's a different tape. That was
Okay.
like, I don't know too much about that one. The one I'm mostly familiar with is the one where they're over there by the creek, like they're about 100 feet away or 50 feet away or something like that. But that's quote unquote, it's pretty racist, but the samurai chatter, as people used to call it all the time.
Yeah.
That stuff is, I don't know. That's really weird. If that's real, man, that's some real freaky shit.
Oh, dude, since you're a movie guy, did
Sure.
you see the Bobcat Goldthwait found footage film about Bigfoot?
Yeah, which one was? Do you remember? Was that Big Legend?
Willow Creek?
Willow Creek. Yes, I saw Willow Creek.
It's like
that was
Bigfoot meets Blair Witch Project, and
yeah.
dude, the way the shit just goes down, like it gets progressively worse. I almost turned that movie off. My chick at the time was sleeping next to me. I was way too stoned watching that, and I was just like, "This is too fucking good." Bobcat Goldthwait. I mean, he makes good movies, but I didn't think he's something
good.
like that. Yeah,
I love that there's so many like stories with that angle, because I think to just assume that it's like the friendly forest giant is, or these people giving it food, like listening to, rest in peace, John Bindernagel, the wildlife biologist who was like kind of the star of the Bigfoot community, because he was the one with the most credentials going, oh yeah, like this shit's real. Like he was awesome. And oh fuck, here I go again. See, this is what smoking pot does,
the
folks.
The benevolence
yeah. So like talking about how like the leaving of food and presents and things like that,
it's like doing it to a fucking grizzly bear.
Like, dude, exactly. It's not like this mutual you stop doing that.
The bears might like you if you're crazy, like that fucking Woody Harrelson guy that didn't get the role in Cheers and went to Alaska and made that what was that, Grizzly Man?
Oh yeah, Grizzly Man.
He's proven like, yeah, you can give them food, but if you stay too long and piss them off, they might just eat you after 13 years of being fine with you. But to get back to your point, you see movies like Harry and the Hendersons and shit.
Right.
And
love that movie.
I own it because it's just like, is it by Mart? And I'm like thinking back to when I was 12 watching that.
Yeah, man, VHS tapes.
It was
glory days, bro. Make America great again.
But you were probably young, right? When that came out. I think you're a couple years younger than me, maybe. I was born in 83.
I'm 38.
Okay, I just turned 40 last week. So
yeah, it was what, early 90s, late 80s when it came out?
Yeah, one of those. I'd say 89, 90, but it...
John Lithgow still had brown hair.
Yeah, not as bald as when he's Trinity Killer. But that scene when you're a little kid and you watch him hit it, and then like that scared the fuck out of kids back then.
Yeah, man.
But then it's like nice and it joins their family. And
yeah, I wonder if that's like, I hate everything's a psyop, but well, it's weird too, because you have that, but then you do have all these horror movies, and no matter what, it's either a goofy fantasy or it's this horrific, terrifying thing. When I don't know, man, like I love listening to people like Gary Wayne talk about like the Genesis 6 stuff and putting it into perspective.
I don't know much about him.
He's cool. He does like he's Christian, I think. So there's a limit to where I'll follow where he goes, but I follow him pretty far because he talks about old king lines and like he very close to what I'm researching about how like the undoing of these words that we're always like put into these mystical categories and stuff like that. He kind of does that with a number of things from our mythologies, but he connects Bigfoot to like this Nephilim. So it's like more of like a material thing, not like this, like a relic hominid of sorts, He kind of puts two and two together that way, but he still keeps it very Christian and spiritual. So I don't follow him all the way, but it's interesting. That's how I look at Bigfoot. I think it's like a relic hominid, and it does have probably a lot to do with some of the things we read about in our mythologies, And the Nephilim story is an interesting connection because I don't think of it as literal gods coming out of the sky and raping women, but this is getting into a whole other thing, but yeah, just like the migrations that happened a long time ago and how history is kind of bought and sold. So it's hard to know when these things may have really taken place and how they were all really put together, but the migrations and the merging of different cultures, and there's just so much there that leads me to believe that there was some sort of offshoot or higher mammal species or something like that was basically us. I don't know, man. It's so fucking wild.
When you look at nature, there's just so many animals that are just like kind of similar, but there's a really big version of this little tiny cat in Africa, and he's like 400 pounds in fucking Brazil. But I liked what you said on your episode of your new series you're doing, because people in our sphere have the tendency to make it very supernatural when they talk about Bigfoot, and it's like, what? It's fucking cool enough on its own that exists, possibly. Why does it
Right.
have to be a fucking dimension jumper from Mars? Because I've heard that
he's physical.
people-
I've seen he's physical. So what presence does his his fucking dualistic mind have in another dimension? I loved it. One of those mainstream scientists, like, as much as I disagree with them on like a number of things that they're paid to say or whatever, but said something about the interdimensional thing, and I loved it. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was like, oh man, he was like, what is this whole thing about traveling to other dimensions and beings from other dimensions? What dimension exactly are we talking about here? And I'm like, thank you, physicist. I'm not one, so I can't say it with authority, but it's the dumbest thing to say. Like,
Well, how else do you explain them not being seen very often and hiding? It's logical jumping point, right?
right. Well, yeah. If we're
What I do when I
gonna
want to not
believe
be
that-
seen is I just fucking do
Hop into
upside
another
down
dimension.
land or whatever the fucking Stranger Things shit is. See, and
Like,
I
I'm not doubting
believe
some
in
crazy
shit like
technology. I'm not doubting some crazy technology, but everybody points like patents of
Well,
dudes walking through walls in the military. I'm like, they didn't do it. He ran into a wall and fell over. It's on record.
oh, men who stare at goats thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still love it though.
Oh yeah. And I'm not trying to take the fun out of all of it. Like,
No, but I think it
the whole
is.
place is magic. That's the thing, and
So
that's
why
why they
does
have all
Bigfoot-
this shit.
Yeah,
They have all this shit here, so we don't recognize what's right in front of us.
dude, the
And we keep
CIA
thinking that
runs through
reality
walls.
is stupid. Yeah, man.
Yeah, they've sold the existence being mundane pretty well. Like every fucking 20-something I know is pretty nihilistic, and maybe I was too to a
too.
point, but I also saw the beauty and the wonder in the world, and I
Yeah.
knew that what's the word I'm looking for? Just the potential, I guess I'll say, of what life can be like on this planet. If certain things were just a little different, and you can dream about it, but I know, like,
Absolutely.
when James Cameron made Avatar, there's a reason everybody came in their pants. I thought that movie was fucking stupid as shit. And, then, and it's like, but I know, yeah. What did South Park do? Dances with Smurfs. But it's just like, yeah, there's a reason everybody latches onto that, because it's something we all want, and therefore, why can't we do it? But here we are.
Yeah, I mean, I got hooked into the first Avatar, man. My buddy and I walked out of there going like, dude, and we were both psychedelic guys.
Dude, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of you.
Not at all. Not at all. Man.
I said you came in your pants. I just assumed.
Oh, I
that-
absolutely did too.
Okay.
I saw Avatar like 3 times in the theater. I brought my parents to see it in 3D just because I thought, but also from a movie lover perspective too.
Yeah, the technology.
I'm sorry, he could be controlled. I don't fucking know. I don't care. Cameron is one of the best storytellers and directors in
Terminator
all
2.
Hollywood or-
Oh,
yeah, man.
So Spielberg, even though
I'll say Titanic. Fuck off if you don't like it.
Hey,
That's
are
a
you no, it
beautiful
is.
fucking film?
Are you the one that was saying or showed that combo between Spielberg and Cameron where they're talking about like, and they think that you were making these movies to? It was either you or Rantcast. I don't remember which one it was.
I don't think it was me.
But it was
I-
those two talking, and it was Cameron making fun of how people blame Spielberg for predictive programming, and they're like,
Oh
and it-
man, maybe I did share that.
and then
I
he just
probably said
gives
something
this up-
snarky like,
You
"What? Now
did.
they're talking about it?"
Yes,
Ah.
it was basically that, and Spielberg's autistic ass answer to it was just fucking like, "Come on, dude, just admit it."
He's a piece
Project
of shit.
fucking Mockingbird definitely got a hold of the '80s, and you were the biggest filmmaker then. Like,
I love those movies, you know?
dude, Indiana Jones, fucking even the first 3 Star Wars. I mean, that's George Lucas, but like they
But
are
hey,
good
Conspiracy
fucking movies.
Kyle, man. Shout out to Kyle because like his deep work with the prequels, man.
They're
woke
better.
my ass
The
up, and I'm
stories
like,
are
oh
better.
my god, these stories are unbelievable.
They just
and
fucked
they're-
up the Darth Vader actor, the young kid. They should have fucking got
man,
someone
that
else.
was a nightmare. That was a total.
Emo Vader.
Yeah, man. It was.
But the stories,
Acid.
yeah, like Palpatine and the forming of all these councils or whatever they fucking call them. It's just, and even
Problem
the
reaction
Clone
solution.
Wars, I think, are
Mhm.
better than the prequels, even because they get even deeper into all that stuff.
Yeah,
And that's
man.
George Lucas knew that, like, yeah, I have to wait to make these. So who the fuck? They're junior filmmaker at that time, and they're like, I'm starting with episode 4.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like a Tarantino baller move right there. Like, yeah,
Star
fuck
Wars
it.
is so Buddhist too.
That's all
and
it is.
It's funny too because like people confuse like New Age and Buddhism.
Well,
they just all the
watered
same.
down Buddhism is what most people
Absolutely watered
know.
down,
They
controlled, filled with bullshit.
hey, your
Oh,
poster hanging on your wall says that quote, and that makes you a Buddhist. Like, I've dated so many women like that.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah. They forget the main tenet of Buddhism that there is no personal self.
You came here to
You know,
suffer, God damn it.
And New Age is the aggrandization of the self and the ego, and it's the same thing as what we call Satanism or
I mean,
Lucifer.
it is a slippery slope to making candles smell like your own vagina, you know.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
she circled back. That Gwyneth Paltrow is one of those Pasternak chicks. She's on the
Oh,
list.
of course. Isn't she's like Hollywood royalty anyway?
At this point, I mean,
Her parents are both.
yeah.
Yeah.
And most
I
of them
think-
you find out do
Was it
come
Blythe
from that.
Danner was her mother? I can't remember.
Is
Someone
that-
famous. Two important Hollywood people were her parents. But same with like Julia Roberts and Sigourney Weaver, fucking Space Mom, love her forever. She's in every goddamn anything having to do with an alien or a sci-fi plot. They throw Sigourney in as like the hidden bad guy behind it all. I love it. But yeah, they're all like connected back and back and back and back. So crazy. Man, we've just been going like we're just sitting on a couch hanging out, man. It's been awesome. We've been going for like almost 3 hours or some shit. Or almost,
right?
I don't know. We started right around like 8:43. So 2 hours. We've been going for 2 solid hours, man.
Still,
This is awesome.
it's hard to believe.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm glad. I figured this would happen. That we would just
Yeah, I
go off into 9 million different directions.
your Harley Pasternak thing, I didn't really plan to be the episode, but I knew that if I just kept throwing shit at you, you'd eventually come on, and so you said yes to that, and then we talked.
Oh, I would have.
We talked about it for like 30 seconds. No, like you're one of those guys that as soon as I knew who you were, I'm like, yeah, I'll work with that guy. I mean, there's people I see or people I listen to, and it's like, if they ask, but there's the people I'm like, yeah, I'm going to reach out to him. And the Deep Share, any conspiracy player out there who hasn't checked that shit out, it's fucking good. And the variety of topics is far and wide. And Box Saga, you got to check that out, everybody.
I started a Telegram for it too, because our friend over in Germany, Ananto, has a massive Box Saga Telegram it's got thousands of people in it, and he just shares tons of footage and audio and links and this and that, but it's all in German or other languages. If they all speak many over there. So I started an English one so people could kind of ask questions, and Yoke and I have talked about kind of just pooling all these questions together and doing some episodes explaining some of the finer points. Like my wife has 100 questions because she doesn't want to believe any part of Box Saga. She's like, what? No. So what about this? What about that? And a lot of times she's asking legitimate questions because without a lot of detail, it sounds like any other big maybe, So yeah, I think it's a good thing that more people are talking about it. But as Michael Tessarion already said years ago, the world ain't ready for Box Saga. So maybe in little phases.
Once they wake up from this alien dream we're all having, maybe we'll get into Box Saga next time.
It's the key. It's the key, man, because that fucking phonetic language, when you find out what all these terms mean, it's like, oh, none of this is, oh man. When you find out that like God was pronounced like good or gut, and it all has the same meaning, that's a rabbit hole,
I've been more kind of, I don't want to say like obsessed with that, but I look at it more than I ever have probably the last 5 years of my life. Because it's
the word
just
God?
the phonetic fucking flow and like all the ties to certain words. And then when you see how far back the translations go, and it just all came from the same place. English is like a language that's unlike anything ever because it's got
It's a
so many
miracle.
roots, and it's like, fuck, if you want to write poetry or like plays, pick English. I'm not saying it's the best language. It's the best metaphor.
According to the Bacchus, so the over like thousands of people that speak this old root language in southern Finland, according to them, it's like, yeah, this is the ultimate root language of the whole planet, supposedly. In English, there was 2 languages described in the Bach saga, and they say that English is kind of like a miracle. Like, it doesn't make any sense that it even exists, because it's basically a combination of those 2 languages from the Bach saga. This root language, there's root and there's Von language, and Von means one, like as in one people. There was the Von people and there was the Acer people. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole, but yeah, it's like that English is coded, like we all suspect it is, and like all these weird meanings and these connections, phonetics and puns and things like that. Yeah, it is. And Saga has a very, very deep, intricate explanation for it, and it's really interesting. So yeah, people should definitely check it out.
All those guys jerking each other off wearing robes in these secret societies and college fraternities, they know this shit.
They clearly, yeah, that came to my mind too. Yeah,
but I know they know what they're doing.
No, this is all Babylonian shit, man. It's all Moloch worship. It's like, well, no, it's not. That came way later.
You just reminded me of Ghostbusters, where they're like Sumerian, and he's like, Egon's like, it's Babylon, or I think the guy says Babylonian, and he's like, it's Sumerian.
It's Sumerian.
It's just like a no shit Sherlock to him kind of thing.
Gozer the Gozerian. Good evening.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, man.
Well, it's been real, man.
We'll wrap this up. Like I said, check Andy's shit out. My listeners, anyway, I'm going to have his links down in the show notes as always.
And yeah, for my listeners, because I'll put this out on my end too, if you don't already, check out Conspiracy Playtime and also Disinfobation. He's doing a lot of good stuff, so check his shit out.
I would only recommend Disinfobation to people who are just severely fucked in the head and they want filter. They want some validation that they're not alone. That's what that show's for.
Our inner voice. Yes. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, it's been real chatting with you for so long. We could do it again. We should. This was a blast. Maybe get someone else in so we don't wander too far off again.
You know, I was gonna say we could get Brandy in, but she wouldn't really help with the wandering. But that could be a good try.
Laser focused when she needs to be. That's for sure. Oh
shit, she'll fucking keep us in line, man. But she likes to get weird as well. So could be a fun time.
Yeah. She's the only person that can talk to me about a possible flat Earth that I can't argue against, but I don't know enough, and she's brilliant with math. I can't. I don't know. So it's weird. Something about integers. Who knows, man?
Beyond my pay grade too.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Take care.